Hi, my name is Caitlin Casper and I will be evaluating USA Gymnastics, or USA Gym as it may be referred to later in this presentation's financial statements. I will first go over what USAG is and what some of my expectations were. I will compare them to USA Diving, see what effects the Olympics had on the financial statements, and I will look at their net assets. A little about USAG, since most of the class may not know what it is. It is the main league to compete in gymnastics, like the NFL of gymnastics. When you see the major international competitions, the U.S. athletes are competing under USAG. USAG is a 501c3 and has 5 different types of gymnastics it covers. I had expectations as to what type of gymnastics would generate the most revenue. I thought women's would be number 1, being the most popular, followed by men's, rhythmic, trampoline, and tumbling, and lastly acrobatic. My expectations were completely wrong. Trampoline and tumbling generated the most, closely followed by women's, a large drop to acrobatic, then rhythmic, and lastly men's. Where else does the revenue come from? The other top 3 were marketing and events, member services, and the United States Olympic Committee, or the USOC. For 2012 and 2011, these were the top 3 sources of revenue other than their programs. A question raised is, what does the USOC fund? The money received from the USOC is not considered restricted. It is money that helps Olympic organizations grow and help ensure we have the best of the best. Over 1/3 of the money goes to performance pool grants. This goes to athletes who will help the U.S. have international achievements. The USOC also helps with athletic funding, international relationship grants, training center support, and grassroots grants. I also analyzed the expenses and revenues in marketing and events and compared them to another Olympic sport, USA Diving. USA Diving called their marketing and events national and regional events on their revenues and competitive programs on their expenses. As you can see, both in revenues and expenses, there was a huge increase. Realizing that 2012 was a Summer Olympic year, I wondered if this increase was due to the Olympics. I found 2008 USAG financial statements, but USAD only had financial statements to 2009. Looking at USAG 2008 versus 2007, I saw the same trend. We can expect for revenues and expenses to go down in marketing and events for 2013. Next, I wanted to look at net assets. USAG has only about $12.5 million in net assets, and only $1 million is tied to temporarily restricted assets. In 2012, there was over $1.6 million increase in net assets, but in 2011, there was a $20,000 net loss. Even though the temporarily restricted assets are a small part of the net assets, I wanted to see what the assets were for. 4 of the items are scholarships for athletes, 2 for men, 1 for women, and 1 for trampoline and tumble. There is also 1 grant, the Lucan Fund, for gyms to focus on healthy athletes. There was a bit of a loss due to investment returns. So that was a lot of information to take in. Altogether, we can see where the money comes from. We can expect an increase in revenues and expenses during Olympic years. Also, there's a small number of temporarily restricted assets, and those are used to cover what the USOC cannot for athletes. I hope you found this presentation helpful.